If you're interested on how I made this beautiful dress for our beautiful client, stay tuned as you watch me through the process. Here are some of the materials I used. I bought 4 yards of Organdy, also bought 3 yards of Duchess, 1 pack of crinoline, and then also bought 1 yard of crinoline mesh, a matching thread, and a matching zipper for the dress. So let's delve right into it. So I wanted to draft the back and the front at the same time, so I used the highest measurement, which is the waist, to get the width of the box, and I'm marking the 1/2 inch allowance, which also serves as my shoulder allowance. I labeled the box, the back and the front box. So I also used the half length to get the length of the box. So I am marking the zipper allowance, which is 1 inch zipper allowance on the back pattern. I'm measuring out the shoulder, that is 4.5, and I come down by 1/2 inch for the shoulder slope. So I'm labeling the zipper for clarity. Then I used 2.25 inch for the neck width. Then for the back neck depth, I went down by 4.5 inch. Then I'm trying to rule, because the back is supposed to have a triangular back. And for the front, I am also marking out the shoulder slope for the front. Then for the armhole depth, I'm marking out my 4.5 inch, which is the armhole depth for a 4 years plus middle-sized baby girl, as seen in the picture. So because I'm drafting the front and the back pattern at the same time, whatever I do on the back pattern, I am doing on the other one. I'm marking my chest line, my round chest divided by 4. I'm marking my waist circumference divided by 4. I'm not adding allowance on my pattern paper. I add my allowance on my fabric. Then for the dart, I'm measuring 2.5 from the zip line. Just pay attention to how I'm placing my tape. Then it goes up to 3 inches. 3 inches upwards from the waistline. Then 2.5 inch from the zipper line, or from the center line for the front. So whatever I did on the back pattern, I'm doing on the front pattern. So I am ruling the straight line. Then I am marking out 1/2 inch on both sides of the line for the dart intake, and I'm drawing the dart legs, joining the 1/2 inch I marked on both sides. So I am replacing the 1 inch I used for my dart allowance. And then for the armhole curve, I come down by 1/2 of the armhole length. Then I rule for the back. Then for the front, I measure the 1/2 of the armhole length, and I go in by 1/2 of an inch, because the front armhole, it's always contoured towards the inside to avoid gaping. Then I am marking the neckline depth for the front. I did 2.25 inch downwards, 2.25 inch across. Then I am cutting out our pattern. Now it's clear, because I know it may get you confused what was going on, but now I think it's a bit clear now that the patterns are separated. Okay, if you look at the dress, you could see that it had a yoke. So from the neckline, I'm coming in by 4 inches, both on the front and back pattern, and so I'm cutting it out. So we now have our yoke and then pattern for the main bodice. Now I am cutting right on the fabrics, which is on the Organdy material, which is the main fabric. So I am pinning it down to hold it because the material was a bit tricky and slippery, so I had to hold it down with my pins to make the work easier for me. So I'm marking the 1 inch allowance on the side and ½ inch on the half length and on the neckline and the armhole. Now I've gone ahead to cut the yoke using the pattern we've drafted earlier. Then I used another net to draft the yoke. I have gathered my hard nets on my Duchess and also gathered them together for the lining part. And then for the main material, I used the waist. I get a ×3 of the waist. Then I didn't cut it in a circular form, it's straight. Then I'm going to sew the crinoline on it as you see me doing in the video. Then I am going to also top stitch on the crinoline as you see me. Then I gathered the organdy. Now I am going to sew as you see me doing. I'm going to sew the organdy and the gathered lining together as you see me doing in the video. I'm going to hold it down with a stitch so that there won't be falling off when I'll be joining into the upper part. Now I'm done sewing. Let's work on the upper part. So I've cut the organdy, which is our main material. I'm going to top stitch the organdy on the Duchess, then work on our yoke, turn it with the organdy. I'm going to use the organdy as a lining for the yoke, so let me go over to the machine and turn it and come back. I am also going to do the same thing to the back. Our main material is the organdy, so that's what we are using to top stitch on our Duchess. Then using the same organdy to turn our yoke, which is a net. Now I also forgot to cut the strap for the sleeve, so I used 1 inch and then 6 inches width for a 4 plus baby girl. Now I am going to sandwich the yoke as we usually turn a yoke. So I'm going to sandwich it between the main material and the lining. So I'm holding it down with my pin. I've also gone ahead to sew the darts and iron it out as seen. Now after holding it, I'm going over to the machine and sew down and iron it out. I'm also going to do the same thing for the back part as seen. So it's important you hold it down with your pins because it saves time and makes the work easier and helps you to get hold of the materials at the same time. I left about 1 inch towards the zipper allowance as you see me doing. Now I've gone ahead to sew the yoke and I want to stitch the front and the back, lining to lining, material to material. So I'm holding it down with my pin as seen. So I am putting in the measurement. I'm shaping it in using the actual measurement. So it's still held down with my pin, so I'm marking it out. After which I'll go to my machine to sew. Now I am done with that, and then that's the 1 inch allowance I left for the zipper. And so I'm going to fold the upper part and notch the center, and I would also do the same with the gathered down part as seen. So I'm going to match the main material to the main fabrics, and then I also match the lining to the lining. So I'm going to hold it down first, matching. This is the main material, not the lining part. So I'm holding it down with my pin as seen. So this is what it looks like. So this is what it looks like holding it down with the pin. So I'm also attaching the lining part to the lining for the upper and the lower parts. What I did before was the main fabrics and the main fabrics. Now I am done sewing and this is what it looks like. I've also gone ahead to attach the zipper because I don't want the video to be too long, so I did those ones off the camera. I'm still going to make a record video on how to attach the zipper and how I made the roses on the dress, and also beaded the neckline, made the bow tie and everything, attached pearls and other applique on the dress. So I'll still make another video on how I did that. Thank you for watching. Bye.